Okay guys, so just going to show you a little overview of this. On the side here you have the SD card slot, the microphone, and this is actually the menu button, not the power button. That's on the other side. So here's the power button and also the Wi-Fi on and off switch, and then the USB power slot. Looking around the front, of course you have the camera. Again, you can move it a little bit, you can tilt it, you know, just to get the angle right a little bit. It looks like it's basically 360. You can tilt it any which way you'd like. And around the back is your SOS button. Basically what that's going to do is lock the recording, the last recording or the current recording that's happening. So basically if you had something happen without thinking about it, you just hit the button and that way it locks that file so nobody can delete it. So just about like any other dash cam, as soon as you plug it in, it starts up. So for the demo, I'm just going to use a corded mini USB. Now that boots up and right away it starts recording. Let me zoom in here a little bit so I can get a picture of the screen. So I'm going to try to do this without getting my fingers in the way too much. But again, you have the mode button up and down and the OK button, and your menu button is over here. So the menu button will take you back a step, and the up and down buttons and the OK buttons will select the rest. So of course if you go in the resolution, you can choose between 1080p or 720p. Hit the menu to go back. Loop recording is basically how many minutes do you want it to loop the recording. 1 minute, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes. That's basically how long it records before it just basically records over itself. If you wanted it to do that, of course. Because outside of that, it'll just keep recording until it's full, and then it'll erase the oldest data. The WDR is wide dynamic range, so there's off and on. I'm not sure why you wouldn't want it on. Exposure compensation, it's going to automatically do that for you, but it gives you the option to compensate for that, basically making it brighter or darker if you'd like it a little bit brighter or darker. The motion detection is, you know, if you want it to go off, like let's say you have the car parked and you want it to go off when there's motion and record some video, you can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. Do you want it to record audio? Most people do, so that's already on by default. The date stamp, that's a good thing to have. It's on by default. The G sensor is, you know, it automatically records or locks video whenever a you know, a hard G is detected, you know, basically crashing into somebody or a hard brake. So of course you can adjust that sensitivity right here. So I'm just going to keep it on medium. Now that's the extent of that first menu. Now you have settings as well, so we're going to hit the button over here one more time to change it to the little gear or the wrench icon here. So you have the parking monitor, which is very similar to the other thing I just explained. Basically when you park the car, if you want that on, that means that it's going to use the battery at this point. So of course you would have to have this either hardwired or plugged into a source that's going to be on all the time for that to work. Here's the date and time, which again earlier in the video it was wrong, so I'll just show you how easy it is to work it. Just use your up and down arrows and hit OK. We are good. Okay. So the auto power off, pretty straightforward. It's just going to turn off after 3 minutes of no activity. You can change that from 1, 3, and 5. Screensavers, that's basically the timeout from when this screen will go off. So when you first turn the car on, this screen will show whatever it's recording. So that's usually not a big deal. Some people just turn it off, so it's only going to last a few seconds. You can leave it on for a minute, just if you want to take a look and make sure you actually are recording something. The beep sound, well, you've heard it this whole time. It's kind of annoying sometimes, so let's go ahead and turn that off. Well, language, pretty self-explanatory. Don't go in there. hertz is the frames per second. You know, so 50 hertz or 60 hertz, it's going to take up more information quicker on your SD card. So you know what, for dash cam purposes, 50 hertz is just fine. And then if you wanted to change the Wi-Fi SSID, you can do that and name it whatever you'd like, and we're going to get into the Wi-Fi here in just a minute. And the Wi-Fi password, you can also change that. License plate stamp, if you want to record your own license plate information in there, just for redundancy. And if you have a couple different license plates, you can go between those two if you'd like to. And if you want to format the memory card, that's if you just want to erase everything on the memory card itself. And if you want to reset everything back to default, that's how you would do it in there. And then of course your version, which right now of course they're on 1.0. So that's the basics of the menu system and how to work it. 9 times out of 10 or 90% of the time you're going to plug this thing in. Look, it's already recording again. It's going to plug in and automatically start recording. So you don't have to push a record button or anything like that. I'm going to unplug it and show you what it says. See? So after 5 seconds it's going to shut down, which means it's the same thing if you were to turn the car off. So car comes back on, gets power, turns on, automatically starts recording, and you can see it there. So this is where you would be glancing at it, making sure the little red light is on, timer's ticking down, and you're good to go.